Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here with your weekly bonus replay video. Now, there's an aspect about this match that, well, I'll save it till the end, but it adds another layer of impressiveness to the results of this match, if you will, but do want to stick around for that reveal at the end of the video. But anyway, this is Potato Factory in the Tier 9 Premium American Destroyer, the Johnston. And he is playing Ranked, which is probably his first mistake. Ranked is, man, you really have to be a very well-rounded player to make the most out of a ranked run. And Potato Factory, it has apparently caught on to one thing. You definitely want to be playing the most important ship in the match in order to carry yourself through ranked, which is usually the destroyers. As we've talked about here on the channel to quite some extent, destroyers are a very, very vital part to your team's success, especially when ranked is taking place in Arms Race. Arms Race, of course, is the mode where we have the buffs that pop up on the map, and you need to acquire those buffs to have an advantage over the enemy team. And if, well, your DDs are not taking those buffs, you're not going to get those advantages. The enemy team will, and you will probably lose. So, Potato Factory has obviously taken that to heart, and he's playing the Johnston in order to get those buffs. Now, if you are going to be dueling other DDs over buffs and objectives, the Johnston is a pretty solid pick thanks to its Sap Burst Fire mode, which can very easily, if you're good at aiming, cleave about 11,000 damage off of an enemy destroyer in one go, which is, by Tier 9 standards, as you can see by the Johnston's own HP bar here, about half of the ship's HP. So, again, a good choice for dealing with destroyers. Now, the Johnston herself, I was expecting a little bit of a different identity for the Johnston when she was announced, but at least she's in game. Very, very historical ship here with the whole Taffy 3 situation going on. We have a video on that if you're wondering what that is. Ooh, look at the black. There we go. Black is definitely one that you want to get out of the match first because of its radar. A little bit far away there, however. But I mean, hey, if you can make the shots land, which he's getting very close to that, definitely go for it. Okay, looks like the black does smoke up here. Jean Bar, secondary build Jean Bar. Look at this creature over here, fellas. I mean, hey, I've seen people swear up and down by a secondary Jean Bar, and apparently this fella does. All right, Musashi as well, Palmer, and, oh man, Potato has wandered into all of the enemy team over here. His team is, obviously he's in the Johnston, with this engine boost and such. He ran right up to the enemy team, got on their flank, got that damage buff, which is definitely a good pickup. Getting his torpedoes out on the enemy team. This is a very good thing, though, about the spot that he's in. Look, the Musashi, the Palmer, the Black, the Jean Mar, they're all out in the open. So he's able to dump torps at them. And torpedoes have a fantastic psychological effect. So many players, they'll see the torps and they'll just refuse to go forward because they're afraid of the little metal fish in the water. Swapping over to H here to work on burning down the Musashi. Getting some decent hits on the superstructure. Of course, we were warning those fires from these HE shells. Let's see. The second buff is popping up on the eastern flank of the map, and it is the much coveted healing buff. Looks like the friendly Venom and the enemy Black are both going for that buff. Reload buff popping up in the middle of the map, and then two more damage buffs popping up over on the western flank where Potato is at. Jean Bar playing very passively. He's playing Bowen like a tank destroyer, like you're not meant to be playing Jean Bar. But he is on the move now. The friendly Iowa and the Ruprecht, and the third friendly battleship that I can't see what name. What is that? Ah, oh wait, whoops. The Musashi. So they both have a Musashi. Look at that. They are behind the island, so the Jean Bar can move without being, well, absolutely bullied by their shells at the moment. Although I believe the Musashi is keeping him spotted now. Venom does pick up the healing buff, which is a huge pickup for the friendly team, especially for Potato here, whose Johnston is down to roughly half HP. Alright, he's popping his engine boost, so I suspect he's about to go on another adventure here in a second. He's done a pretty good job of, well, just pestering the Jean Bar and the Musashi, but they are not falling for his HE shells. Typically, you know, battleships and cruiser players, when you pester them enough with your main battery guns as a destroyer, they'll kind of drop whatever it is that they're doing and focus on you. But they have not done that so far. Ah, there's that Fletcher again. Well, there he was. 1 point. What was that? Not one. 11 kilometers. Wait, well, there's a one in his distance. I just didn't see the second one. I having to give him some pretty big lead here, because despite, you know, all the Johnston's goodies, it still has the American shell ballistics and the shell arcs. So it does take several business days for the shells to get to the target. Those landed close. Friendly Iowa does take out the enemy Alaska, but unfortunately the friendly Benham and the friendly, what was the cruiser, Riga, are sunk. Nice dodge there on those Musashi shells. So friendly team is down 2 ships, enemy team is only down 1 ship at the moment. Dumping some more torpedoes in the general direction of the enemy team. Again, he's done a pretty good job of just pestering them over here. Unfortunately, these torpedoes have not connected just yet. Now, the friendly team is down in terms of vision. Oh, hello, Fletcher Torps. He's sure this is going to be close. Very nice, very nice, very nice dodge, very nice dodge. The friendly team is down in terms of vision and DPM because their cruiser is down. But Potato is moving in on the enemy team. That enemy Fletcher is very low. The Musashi should be able to just god slap him here in a second. He's going to grab the damage buff over here, which is a pretty good call because when you do capture the buffs, you do get points. So, as you can see right now, friendly team does have a point advantage. No, but actually, I bet you the points are flipped. Let's see what happens when he touches the buff here. Looking like he's going to get some torpedoes here on the Musashi. That is 1 torp on the Musashi for a nice 18k. Now he's got an instance of flooding on him. I think he popped his damage count. Okay, let's see what's going on with the points here. Are the points flipped? The points are flipped. There we go. Another hit on something. I think there was another hit on the Musashi. Jean Bar very low. Musashi finishes him off. There we go. So friendly team is in the lead, so the points are flipped. Red team's points are the green team's points. So friendly Musashi is very low. We haven't seen much of the Fletcher and the Pomeran here in a minute. I suspect that enemy Fletcher is probably going to torpedo rush the Musashi. Oh, this is a live reaction replay, by the way. I just assume most of you that watch these know that by now. I'm watching this for the first time with you guys, so I don't know what happens in this video. I'm just commenting on it as it does happen. Alright, enemy Musashi is back up. Pomeran. Enemy Pomeran's at almost full health. That is very bad in a ranked setting to have a Pomeran that's that healthy. Alright, so Potato has decided that he's going to live rent-free in this Musashi's head. Ooh, Ruprecht and the Iowa on top of each other. Ruprecht secondaries can very easily just annihilate what's left of that Fletcher. The Fletcher is keeping his distance. Getting some sap out on the superstructure of the Musashi. Here come the Musashi. Although the Musashi was launching his ASW aircraft at Potato just to, I don't know, slightly annoy him. Pomeran secondaries, though, from their maximum range. Whew. It's always something being on the receiving end of those German secondary guns. I think Potato has lost his engine, unfortunately. Smoking up. I don't know if the Musashi is going to stay lit, though, because I think, no, the Ruprecht should be spotting him for Potato. So it's like the enemy Pomeran is pushing up on the Iowa and the Ruprecht. The two of them should be able to take care of the Pomeran. More torpedoes out on the Musashi. Okay, nice hit there in the Musashi from, I'm assuming, the Iowa. If Potato can get lucky and get a fire on him here, that might be it for, well, a couple of fires. He is healing through it a bit. Enemy team does have the reload buff now as well. Friendly team still only has 2 damage buffs and the healing buff. But the enemy team has the healing buff as well, so that's unfortunate. Musashi gets AP shells out on, I'm assuming, the Iowa. Looks like the Iowa does survive, but the Musashi does get high caliber there. He is on fire now, that's good. Nice hit there on the Musashi again from either the Ruprecht or the Iowa. Okay, there should be a dead Musashi. Should be a dead Musashi. It is a dead Musashi. There we go. That's Potato's first kill of the match. Okay, good. Now, the central point has been spawned in. Whoever takes that central point gets a very, very cool 10 points per second, which is an insane amount of points to get. Well, 10 points per tick, which I think it's darn near a tick a second, if not a tick a second. So you have, hey, nicely done. Torpedo on the Fletcher. That is excellent, excellent. Oh, there's that Palmer. He's still at very, very full HP. And unfortunately, Potato's torpedoes are on reload. Now would be an optimum time to throw some torpedoes at the Musashi. Ooh, those Fletcher's torps. Okay, thankfully one hit the Iowa. Some more torps are coming in. The black is gunning down Potato right now. Ooh, God, Iowa ate like 4 or 5 of those torpedoes. That's very, very not good. And now Potato's being focused by the Pommern and the black. Okay, the black, never mind, has changed his attention over to the Iowa. Ruprecht getting torps out on the Pommern. Oof, but Pommern torpedoing the Ruprecht. Let's see if they can at least trade some damage here. Palmer looks like he's turning into those torps. He might get nicked by none of them. Dang. Alright, so that's the full health Palmer versus half health Iowa. We don't know what health the black is at. Because we haven't seen him in a hot minute. Okay, so you got battleship versus battleship, destroyer versus destroyer going on here. Alright, Potato dumping his torps out on the Palmer. Hopefully the Pommern will get tunnel vision by the Iowa here and eat some of these torpedoes. Black is just consistently farming down the Iowa. Potato can't really do that because if he opens up right now, those Pommern secondaries are going to absolutely obliterate his HP. Pommern not turning, going full speed ahead. He probably has hydroacoustic search up, so he unfortunately easily dodges those torpedoes. However, if Potato can come around the corner and obliterate this this black. Hey, there we go. That's much better as far as his range. Oh, no, he overleads. He overleads the black. But Iowa gets some shots out on him as well. Eats a good part of his HP. All right, gets another burst going on the black. Fortunately, he jukes a bit of his shells. All right, should have him here. God, Potato's down to 3,000. 2,000. 1,500 health. Smokes up right away after that, getting that smoke in between himself and the Pommern. Oh boy, he's one shot, fellas. Okay, thankfully dodges that. Gets the damage count going together. I think his engine was knocked out. Oh, the Iowa went down. Oh no. Oh no, fellas. That's a full health, or darn near full health Pommern. And we have a DD at 1,500 HP. Okay, so man's gonna have to put in some work to pull this off, and that Pommern has a full healing buff going for him too. So the enemy team is up to 440, friendly team's down to 360. Again, the points are flipped. He's trying to get the Pommern to shoot here, so he has an idea of where he's going. Looks like the Pommern did not fall for that. So he's got to play ring around the rosy with a Pommern and not let him get that cap, because if he gets that central cap, that's game over. Because the points that he's going to get from from possessing that cap, it's just way too much. You can displace those points besides being in the cap and contesting the cap. But being in the cap means probably being in the Pommern's Hydra range. You're definitely in the danger zone for the secondaries if you're in that cap with the Pommern. Alright, so his torpedoes are back up. Alright, he throws out a wall of torps. Throws out one set of torpedo tubes. Oh, that was a good guess. That was a good guess without knowing where the Pommern was at. Alright, so he's got 2 sets of torps in the water. He just picked up a buff to give him a little bit more points. But yeah, he's got to fire. He's got to reset the points, the cap gain on the Pommern. Hoo. Keep in mind too, if he doesn't want to be 2,500 HP in a dream. Thankfully, German dispersion does its thing, but the secondaries is a lot more accurate than main battery gunners. You also got Confederate there for that little. Oh boy. We're at the point where, yeah, 1 overpin from the main battery guns, and Potato is dead. So yeah, if he doesn't want to be super close to the secondary guns where they were absolutely shredding. He's got to be all the way out here, which again with those American shell arcs and the shell ballistics, that's just pain to try and get someone to land at that range. Now, even though it is a Pomeran, right? It's a massive battleship. Still, like the lead you got to give the target is kind of crazy. All right, gives him another round of shells. Keep in mind, again, if any of these shells miss, the Pomeran will get this cap, and that's it. He has Halsey on his ship. There we go. Some more resets. Aww. Alright, so he's going to go grab a damage buff here to give him his team a little bit more points. There we go. So now they're even. 400 versus 400. 4 minutes left on the clock, and the Pomeran's still at darn near full HP. So, here come the ASW planes. Alright, so his AA is off. Good. And Pomeran's probably going to be right around that corner waiting for him. His torpedoes are almost off of cooldown, but again, the Pomeran probably has some hydro left. It is ranked, so it's a shorter match, although this one's gone on for a pretty good amount of time so far. Oh, there he is. Alright, 7 kilometers away. Thankfully, of course, he does have the concealment advantage right now. Now, Pomeran, of course, probably has a pretty good idea of where he's at, if he's paying attention to the direction that Potato has been going in. You know, all he has to do is take the cap, and he pretty much has the game. So the Pomeran is making the right call here by throwing it into reverse and trying to get behind that island. That way he can cap without Potato doing, well, this. Alright, so another round of sap on him. It should reset the cap again. It does. It's lovely that the two salvos fully reset the cap. Alright. So he's got a little bit more time now. Oh, Lord, but they are even. So he's got to either grab another... God, he's got to grab another... Oh, Hydro! He's got to grab another buff without getting too far away to where he's no longer able to reset the Pomeran. Because, you know, if he has to sell and go grab, like, the HP buff or go grab whatever buff, he still has to reset the Pomeran. Because, again, you know, the cap, the points gain you get from possessing the cap in arms races is that crazy. So, he could also just sit in the cap with him, but the Pomeran's got Hydro, he knows where he's at, he knows he's out of torpedoes because he just saw his torpedoes go whizzing by. So let's see what he does here. I would go for that HP buff right there, and then try to get around and reset the Pomeran again. Now the Pomeran's smart, he'll just sit behind the island, because Potato has to come to him if Potato wants to win. The Pomeran wins this just by sitting on that island and just by taking that cap. So it's like Potato... Oh my god, he's left at the safety of the island, fellas. He's gotten too cocky. I mean, the thing is, too, you know, if Potato does fire, the Pomeran can obviously see him. He's well within secondary range, well within the effective... Oh, yep, there he goes. I mean, he has to fire because he has to reset the cap. So there we go. There's the HE from the Pomeran. Woohoo! The torpedoes saved the day there. They ate the damage from that HE salvo, and that buys Potato a little bit more time. Alright, so now, yeah, definitely grab that damage buff. That'll give them the points advantage. And then I believe you'll have to reset them one more time. God, you know, shout out to Torpedo Mount 2 for eating that HE shell. Lordy. And thankfully there's only one HE shell too. If it was two, he probably would be dead. Because I'm sure the other one would have impacted the hull and not the torpedo mount. Okay. So, 55 seconds left on the clock. Still at a draw. I believe that is enough time for the Pomeran to cap the cap point. Throws a rack of torpedoes at the Pomeran. He's going to go grab this damage buff now. Which, of course, will let the Pomeran know where he's at. Because the Pomeran will see that the buff has been taken. Like so. That now gives the friendly team a score of 420 points to the enemy team's 380 points. God, that Pomeran is probably kicking himself right now for not just throwing it in reverse and backing up behind that island. Oh my god, he's still not... Why would you come out of the island? Oh no. The torpedo's going to hit. No. So he's just left the cap point at this point, and Potato wins the match by playing smarter and not harder. And there we go. Quite a tense ranked match there. So, you might be wondering, Sealord, what was this bit of information that makes this result so much more impressive and turns what is a really good, and this is a good game regardless, right? Again, shows the principle of damages and everything. You play smarter, play the objectives, and you'll win the match. Well, you see here, fellas, Potato Factory, and I won't give you his real name because this is a bit of personal information, but he included it in the email. I think it's something definitely worth noting. Potato Factory is a survivor of bone cancer. The man was playing without his left arm because he does not have a left arm anymore. He was playing this match entirely with his right arm only. A destroyer. The man's playing the Johnston, capping, torping, shooting, maneuvering, using his consumables with one hand. So that's a pretty damn impressive feat in and of itself. I can barely play this game and I have both of my hands. So, hats off to you, Potato Factory. This is a really, really impressive feat of sportsmanship and overcoming that hurdle, and a very much well-deserved victory. So guys, let me know what you guys think about the replay in the comments down below. If you have a replay like this that's informational, entertaining, or just something funny, goofy, or impressive, please feel free to send it into the email linked in the description down below, or you can also submit it to the community Discord replay submission channel, and there's a link to that in the description down below as well. So again, hats off to you, Potato Factory. Thank you so much for sending this in, and hope you have the best of time, sir. And hope for Lord, English is hard. And hope for everyone watching, you have a wonderful rest of your week. And hope to catch you guys in the next one.